Ooh-wee, what a haul. I just got back. I'm actually still sweating from carrying this bag of books up. Massive haul today, 25 books. I figured I could have split this up into parts, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to roll into it. All right, let's start with Jim Butcher here. I guess it was Adam, wherever Adam worked at some point. It was a staff pick. Stormfront. Now, I knew I was going to be looking for some more Jim Butcher books out there, especially like from the Dresden files, because I just got the one from the last haul, which was for some Aeropunk. I can't see it. It's very dark in here. It looks like there's a lot of light. It isn't. I'm in a dark room. We're going to keep going. We got Jim Butcher. So I generally open up to the front page there so I can get a look at what books are in the series. And this looks like the first book of the Dresden files, the Stormfront, or just Stormfront. And then I got lucky and I found a second Jim Butcher book for the White Knight. Now this one's a little deeper into the set, but that's okay. It's not like I'm going to start these right away. I got a lot of reading to do, but it looks like this one's way at the bottom there. So I got a lot to catch up on. Now I generally will find some Jim Butcher books in there, but the spine is completely mangled, usually on the books there, or have I found like large books, like bigger, like paperbacks, but they're not in good condition. Not even these, they're not in perfect condition. There's, maybe 4 or 5 cracks there. You can obviously see a bow there, but the side of the pages are pretty decent, like it's still relatively decent. There's a little bit of that warpage, that angle warpage that I've seen happen to some of my books, but this one is like literally, it's a mass market paperback with no creases in the spine for book 1. That's crazy to me. Now there's a little bit of flaring on the corner there, but a little bit of dings on the edge here, the front, but for all intents and purposes, there's no other damages. So pretty crazy. Now generally a mass market paperback like this will go for, this is $12.50 in Canada. This is $10.99. So somewhere around that range. They both went for $3.99. So there we go. That's the first two. I got this one right here. Venus Solemnis. This is from the Lost Legends Volume 1. This is by J. Robert King, and this is from the Dragonlance series of books. These are very old books that I started reading kind of fantasy and stuff like that with the Dragon Age Chronicles, and then the Test of the Twins, and of course there's a bunch of other offshoots that then start, that expand off of that. And in the run of 15 to 20 years, Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman basically created this setting for the Dungeons & Dragons tabletop. There's kind of like these legends that happen throughout those chronicles and stuff like that. One of them is, I still remember after 35 years, like it's a long time. That feels 30 years, about 30 years. In any case, Venus Solemnis, one of the legends of yore, and I figured $3.99 can't go wrong. I've got a bunch of Dragon Age books. You go and focus. Dang, you can't actually see them. They're on the bottom shelf right there. And I got a few of these like Legends ones. Now this says Lost Legends. I've never really heard of that. Anyways, it's volume 1, and these are all standalone books. I figured why not? I didn't think I had this. I had just finished organizing the Dragon Age collection down there, and there you go. So why not? It's $3.99. Boom. Oh, and the cover price of this back in the day, I remember these prices, $6.99. That was back there 30 years ago, boys and girls. That's great. Oh, hey, I've got something there. Hey, we got 25 cents from Canadian Tire money. Just put that aside. I don't think they use that anymore. I'm not sure. Funnily enough, there's a couple books. Oh, look, another thing. I've got like an Indigo receipt in here. What are the odds? I've been noticing, I've been picking up I've been finding things in some of the other books that I've picked up. One was like an autograph of something, it was the Hunger Games, had an autograph picture of something by Suzanne Collins, I'm pretty sure. So now I figured I should be looking through the books while doing this, because we get a blind reaction of some of the stuff that falls out of these things. It's pretty fun. Okay, 3 books. Let's go to the next one. We have Neil Gaiman's American Gods. I recall reading. It sounds weird when I hear people say it, and it sounds weird when I say it. I heard an audiobook for American Gods back maybe 8-9 years ago when I took a road trip out west to the mountains. It was many days. My radio died on me, but thank God I had this audiobook on my phone, and so I got to hear it. And you know what? I do not remember it being a chunky boy. I do not remember it being this goddamn thick. $12.50 cover price and $4. The spine is reasonably solid. There's a bit of bowing in here. There's only, 1 or 2 minor creases considering the thickness of this book, but the edges are relatively good except for this side right here. There's a little bit of a flary thing going on there. There's a bit of damage right there on the corner, but you know what? For a chunky boy like this, and it's a book I already read, I just want to own it again in case I wanted to read it again, and it's almost 800 pages. I had no idea. Anyways, so chunky boy for one day in the future, maybe a reread. I'll see. Okay, let's pull another mystery book out. We got another book that I remember hearing in audiobook form. This would have been maybe 15 years ago. Douglas Adams, of course, very well-known book out there. I tend to use 42 in many things that I write or do because I think it's hilarious. And it came from, of course, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Anytime I see the number 42 in any literature whatsoever or media, I always think like that's probably a reference to Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I remember really enjoying this in audiobook, but I'd like to give it a read after probably, I'm going to say 15 years, although I'm not sure, but I mean, it doesn't seem like a very long book. It's really not. 200 pages. So it'll be a pretty short read someday. Strangely enough, for as small as this book is, 17 bucks Canadian, $4. Okay, so there you go. That's the tally so far. Let's pull out another one we have now. I already own this book, but I love this cover so much. It's such a cool sci-fi pulpy cover, and it's got like these things are stamped, so it looks like these flames, like they have texture to them. So does this little the alien thing. It was The War of the Worlds, H.G. Wells. I'm familiar with the story. I own a version of this book, but not this one. And this Penguin edition is really goddamn nice, and the spine is perfect. The book is relatively solid, and then cover price here is 20 bucks Canadian. That's crazy. Look how thin the book is. 20 bucks. And it's $4. Can't go wrong. H.G. Wells and War of the Worlds. I still want to read this. This might be on one of the next TBRs because it's one of those books I just feel like I need to have in my repertoire. It's under 200 pages. Can't go wrong. Bam. Next one. Oh, I got some good ones in here. Ooh. Try to get all this together. Was there only 5 of them? Okay, well, I'll do these all together. We got Conan the Wanderer. Okay. Pulp. The Pulp section. It was pretty good. This one's got the purple edges. $2.99 here. I'm not sure what the cover price would be, but this would have been one of an old book. Yeah, let's take a good look. Oh, it's from a library nearby. Look at that. 1968 edition. Call me crazy. 95 cents. 95 cents. And that cover design is pretty interesting. I've never seen this version, this cover version. The ones I'm familiar with are these ones right here. So we got the Buccaneer, the volume 6 of the set. Can't go wrong here. And of course, cover price. Ooh, they went up. $1.95. That's probably an American too. I'm not sure. We got volume 7 for $1.95 as well. We got, there we go, The Warrior. And again, these are, I mean, they're beat up a little bit, right? But they're pulp. They're pulp novels. You're not going to find a book that's this aged, 50 to 60-year-old book, you know, in perfect condition. I mean, these were books that people would put in their back pockets, and it's just like there's multiple creases along the way. It's just, I mean, as long as the pages aren't completely falling off, like this one's got a weird crease damage under the cover. You can see the the light there shining on it and just completely mangled. But you know what? The pages are relatively decent, all considering. They're aged, they're yellowed. You got a weird crease here. I mean, the spines themselves are completely wrecked, right? But you go, yeah, it's fine. We got Conan of the Isles here. We got a $1.95 book as well. All right, so there you go. You know, I'm going to do this again, showing the covers a little bit closer. We got this one right here, Conan the Wanderer. We got Conan the Buccaneer. Look at that. Got here The Warrior. We got Conan of the Isles, $1.95. We got volume 12 here of the set. Can't go wrong, right? I mean, this one's actually got a relatively decent spine. A couple creases in the back there. If I can get the glare on there, it doesn't really matter. Anyways, most of these were $2.99. I believe one of them was $3.99. And we got this one here, Conan the Swordsman. This was by L. Sprague, the comp, the dude who took over. He finished a lot of the stories that were left behind by Robert E. Howard, his notes and stuff like that. And I believe the estate gave him the right of way to put all of those pieces together and create another set of stories. And so this is the Swordsman one. It says one of 6 here. There's Conan the Liberator, the Sword of Skelos, the Road of Kings, Conan and the Spider God, Conan the Rebel, and Conan the Barbarian. So anyways, got a standalone here. The only one I still owned. No, I probably have 2. Hold on. Thank God I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it, right? Damn it. Well, we have a duplicate. No wonder it sounded familiar. I already owned the Wanderer here. So that's the original Boris Vallejo cover. 10 cents. That's crazy. I don't even know where I got this anymore. And I got, thank God, number 1. Now they had a number 1 there that was even more wrecked than this one. This one's got a major crease here. The spine isn't solid, but their number 1, the pages were like half falling out. Anyways, I've doubled up on 4. That's okay. I'm not going to mix these up because I have to do the tally after. So that's it. 5 Conan books. Can't go wrong. I'm going to be trying to find more of these along the way. I'd ideally like to find this cover set right here. I think these are really cool. And right now, I'm not sure how many there are of this set, but I can see up to 12 so far. So I'm going to get a list going in a trusty spreadsheet that I pull up every time I'm combing the aisles of this place. Next. Okay, this one was on the shelf a couple times, and it was always in the most abhorrent condition. We got Max Brooks, World War Z. I mean, I know, it's a little bit of a rompy book, right? Action adventure, I'm familiar with it. I knew there was a movie. I didn't go see the movie, but I do have the Zombie Survival Guide, which I thought was pretty fun. It was actually a really amusing book. I recommend it. And this one is, so 21 bucks Canadian for $4.99. And it's perfect condition. Finally, I got a version that the spine is fine, the corners are fine, the pages are fine. pretty solid. Watch me have flipped through this and like there was writing all over it. I would have like cried. I would have cried a little bit. Anyways, World War Z, can't go wrong. We're gonna move on. The oral history of the zombie war. I think it's gonna be amusing. I'm kind of in a weird zombie mood. It's just like happened by accident. There was like an anthology there for zombie stories, but the cover looked a little hokey. So I was like, I don't need it right now. Okay, next. Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna say that one. Ooh, this one's a good one too. I don't want to show it yet. We're gonna put these ones together. Here's one, the Vampire Chronicles Collection Volume 1, Anne Rice. This week, because I'm trying to organize the rest of my books on that side of the room, and I was like, where the hell are my first 4 novels of Anne Rice, the Vampire Chronicles? You know, it's the Interview with a Vampire, the Vampire Lestat, the Queen of the Damned, and the Body Thief. This one has 3 of those 4 books. So I found this one, and it's in relatively good condition. The corner's a little bowed right there. There's a little bit of a warpage. The pages though are pretty decent. It's got the pages are kind of thin, like Bible thin, you know, and heavy. It's like it's just a book that's heavier than it looks considering the size. The cover price here is $28.95. I got it for $5.99, and it's at least the first 3 novels, which, you know, I've read these 30 years ago. Probably one of the first like set. It was like a box set of the first 4 novels, and they were mass paperback editions. So this is a little bit of a chunkier tome. I remember enjoying these. I know that there's the first book has that one thing in it, that people like. Either you're gonna get through that, or you're not gonna like it, and you're just not gonna read anymore. Anne Rice. That's too bad. I think her writing is actually pretty decent. I enjoy her take of the vampire tales. I believe I read a couple other ones in the series. I got some hardbacks. I don't remember anymore. It was a long time ago. Some of the first horror books I've ever read. So I wanted these back in my collection, and I found this as a volume 1. So I'm not sure what volume 2 would be, but I'm guessing it's going to be The Body Thief. It's going to be Memnoch the Devil, maybe. I might have read that one. I'm pretty sure I did. That's the one with the alchemist vampire. I'm not sure. Anyways, I enjoyed the lore of this world, so maybe I'll do a reread of this at some point. Anne Rice, Vampire Chronicles Volume 1. Next. Okay, so we got, this one was a weird purchase. It was kind of a bit of an impulse one, but it was like I was trying to make it 25. I was trying to get to 25 because I could get 5 books free if I got to 25. Well, the 5th book free. But the point is, I got Physics of the Impossible. Okay, this was in a nonfiction section, which I generally don't check over, but I figured today I would. $32 cover price for $5.99. And this is basically just reading the synopsis of this, which felt a little bit sci-fi to me, even though it was nonfiction. But it's basically like, imagine these things that seem impossible. So let me give you some examples. Force fields, invisibility, phasers and Death Stars, teleportation, telepathy, okay, robots, extraterrestrials, UFOs, starships, etc. And it's just kind of saying like, right now they seem impossible. And I like the table of contents. It intrigued me. The table of contents intrigued me because it broke it up into like classes of impossibility. So class 1 impossibility, class 2 impossibilities, and class 3 impossibilities, like perpetual motion machines, precognition. And it's like, why are they that improbable or impossible? I think that this is going to be a fun read. It's an odd purchase for me. Generally not where I go, but I did, and I don't regret it. And I'm assuming a lot of these things are going to be they're like essay based. I don't know yet. I'm speculating, but they're going to be based on things that are in sci-fi that is recognizable in pop culture today. And so let's give it a shot. Michio Kaku. Cool. There you go. You gotta go in this stack. You gotta go in this stack. We'll talk about you in a second. All right, let's talk about these 2. I ended up finding 2 Dresden hardcovers. We got the Legacy here, R.A. Salvatore. Flipped open, of course, because I like to see, are these part of a set? Oh, look, this one's got a note here. To Trevor, just because I love you. Hope you enjoy it. All my love always. Well, Jared gave your book away, whoever you are, and now I'm going to enjoy it. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution to my library. I come in here and I try to see where the book is on this list. It was not. So then I found these in a pack of 3, and I did own one of them, and so I figured, is it possible? Because the spine looked familiar to me, and I was like, I wonder. So we got The Passage to Dawn is another hardcover I got for Dresden. And so I come here and I check the list right there. We got the Legacy, Starless Night, and Siege of Darkness, and then Passage of Dawn. I own Starless Night. I don't know where I got it anymore. I believe it was on a library sale, and I got lucky, and I pulled that one. And so now I got the first book of that, or I don't know if this is connected. These are connected, but they're connected on this list right here. So these might be standalone. And now I'm missing the 3rd book, which I'm going to have to hunt down. Siege of Darkness. Maybe I'll find it. I'm not sure. And then we got Passage to Dawn. Cool. So there you go. I've been wanting to like pick up some more R.A. Salvatore books because, of course, this goes way back to 30 years ago as well. When I was reading the Ravenloft novels and the Dragon Age novels, of course, there was very few Planescape novels of the day. Dark Suns was a really good run. And then Forgotten Realms was one of those where it was so daunting. There were so many books in the Forgotten Realms. I was like, I'm not getting into Forgotten Realms. But the Dresden books in particular, I read, I think, a trilogy, the original trilogy with Dresden in it, the main character, and it was good. It was in probably the early 90s. And and I know Ari Salvatore is like, it's like that's his character. If you're gonna write about Dresden, it's gonna be Ari Salvatore. Bam, 2 hardcovers. Oh, what are the hardcover prices on these things? We got a $30.99, and we got a why do you always have to make it difficult? And we have a $19.95. I'm not sure how we went from $20 to $30. I'm not sure what kind of date difference that is, but in any case, $5.99 each. Can't go wrong, right? Bam, bam. Okay, next. This was a weird pick, but it keeps coming up, and I really love BioShock. And so we have Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. And I had no idea it was actually this thick. I'm a big lover of philosophy. That was the third kind of major I was working on back in university, a couple classes short. So I didn't get my full degree, but I never stopped loving philosophy. And because of BioShock, there was just enough reference to that. And the more you kind of learn about BioShock and the whole, there's just stuff. Anyways, Ayn Rand keeps coming up is what I'm saying. And I've been going to this thrift shop over and over going, I wonder if I'm going to find Ayn Rand today. I don't know why that is, but it's one of those like, why wouldn't I? It's got to be in here sometime. At some point, someone's going to give this book up and I'm going to buy it from here. And I did. I found it today. Like I found many other books here, and you'll find some more that are just like, I've been thinking about it for a long time, and they were all there today. I'm going to say all, not all, most. We'll get to it. Okay, so Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged. And when I say it's chunky, it's not just chunky. Look at the size of that text. That's it. That's crazy. I'm going to need a magnifying glass to get through this. This is insane. Anyways, I haven't read a philosophy book for ages, so I'm kind of intrigued, but also extremely intimidated. How many pages is this? Over 1,000 pages. Cool. So cover price $12.50, and I got it for $3.99. Ayn Rand. Bam. Atlas Shrugged. Cool. One day. Next, we have Breathers. I've seen this one a couple times, and SG Browne. Now, the reason why, so it says for fans of Max Brooks's The Zombie Survival Guide and zombie aficionados everywhere. I've never heard of that one. It sounds like a comedy. It sounds like a zombie romance comedy, and I'm just gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. It's very short. It's only 300 pages long. It's relatively good condition. There's just a little bit of a corner bend there, but the spine is perfectly fine. The cover's strangely like thin. Feels like destroyable. It's a really cool cover design, is that it's got the gloss on the trims here, but then it's the matte on the inside. It just looks pulpy. That, I could be crazy, but that looks like Allred art right there. No? Mike Allred? Am I wrong? Am I crazy? I'm also a fan of comics and comic stuff, so sometime... No? Maybe just inspired by? I'm not seeing it. It's just pulpy, and Mike Allred has that pulpy look, so I'm sure it's not. Anyways, 2009, first edition, $16.50. Got it for $5, $4.99. Cool. So there you go, Breathers. If anyone knows anything about this book, let me know. It could be a quick, fun read. Can't go wrong with that. Pages are perfect, man. They're perfectly crisp and white. Can't go wrong. Bam. So another one down. Now we're going into, how should I do this? I'm gonna go with the big one first. Is the first book I saw there, and strangely enough, like I keep waking up at weird, like 4:30 in the morning because I go to bed but I can't sleep well. Okay, so I wake up and then I play like a video that might be in my video feed to try to get myself back to sleep. And today I found a video that talked about weird tales. It was from the Novel Foundry, I think is that the name of the channel. It's really cool. It's like this animated little dude thing that talks and gives like a kind of small essays on things, literary based usually, or philosophy or ideas. And it was talking about weird tales and how a lot of like modern fantasy is very stock now. It's like it's very safe, but then they're very epic. There's a sort of sense of similarity. They're unique and different, but what I'm saying is like in style, right, in grandness. Whereas this channel was talking about how weird tales back in the day, Pulp Fiction, took a lot more risks and chances with the ideas in the stories, and that within themselves, like the Robert E. Howards from Conan, right, the H.P. Lovecrafts from, of course, Cthulhu and the Cthulhu mythos and all that stuff. A lot of those writers were also pen pals, and they had a sort of community with themselves, you know. I feel like that's kind of happening with the indie fantasy authors of today online. This is a huge intro for me to just say one of the first books I found was Pulps. And I've had this like side idea of doing something with Pulps. Now I like that the page design is that weird like tiered, I don't know, with a tapered like page feeling. Oh, it's got that really aged smell to it. Anyways, and it's got some covers in here. I've been collecting public domain books, digital, like just things that I've like westerns, old sci-fis, horror especially. Just love reading these things. So it looks like this one goes into like the history of some of this stuff, or maybe it reprints some of these stories. It's an idea I've had, is to reprint a lot of these old Pulp Fiction stories that are in the comics, but pulling them out and then making a collection of it. I've released a couple on this channel as audiobook kind of things. So that's kind of like, found this and I was like, this could be inspiring, you know, for me to maybe do something like this as well, more modern. I mean, these look like terrible scans as well. They're kind of fuzzy. It does look like they did their best to kind of preserve some of this history. It wasn't done. This isn't a modern book though. This looks like an old book. Like it feels like an old book. 50 years of American pop culture, compiled and edited by Tony Goodstone. Do I have a year here? We got a preface here, signed 1970. So I would assume that was when this got printed. Yeah, 1970. They're using Roman numerals, so a little bit trickier. But yeah, 1970. So the scans are pretty rough. I mean, today with the technology we have, it can probably enhance like some of these covers. Kind of excited for this to inspire me to do my own kind of compilation idea anthology with the pulps. So there you go. This was an exciting one. Oh man, we still got a few more to go. Okay, let's just start. Now I wish I had found all of these, and unfortunately I did not. And I feel like maybe I might have found the first book of this, but it was in really bad quality at some point. And I didn't purchase it, and I left it behind because I felt like I was going to find one of the better editions, like the ones I pulled a couple thrift shops ago for Terry Brooks's Shannara series. So I got these ones right here. We got the Wish Song of Shannara, and I got the Elfstone of Shannara. And correct me if I'm wrong, but these feel like the original covers or the original books. Like I could probably find that out by seeing if it was a first printing, right? Instead of assuming these. But I've seen oh, this one's got a what the fuck? You need like what the hell, man? You took a whole chunk of the page there. You had to write someone's number down or something like that. You couldn't have just found another scrap piece of paper, you goddamn savage. And we've got a 1977 here. That's the map, and then I got all other interior art 1985. Sorry, the print is 1985. That sounds right to me, right? That's like the first printing. It doesn't say it's a second printing. So there you go. I like these. I like the fact that they're the first printing. So if I could find the first printing of the Sword of Shannara, then I'm okay with having this particular edition of the trilogy, the first 3 books of the series, and then I'll start giving them a go. I got those other high quality ones. I'll just give you a reminder. I'll go get them. The first time I went to the thrift shop, I found these ones right here. Like these are beasts, and they're really nice quality. You got the Heritage of Shannara, right? And it's just chunky. It's like it's like 3 books in one, of course, right? And one of these is like 4 books in one. I'm not sure which one. Anyways, and we got the High Druid of Shannara trilogy. Well, trilogy. So this is the one with 4 books. The Heritage of Shannara, 4 books, 3 books, and they both have this that kind of cover there, which I'm assuming Volume 1 would have. The Sword of Shannara one would be the first trilogy of books, would have this book design as well. So here's the thing. If I find these, I'll get them, but for now, I just want to maybe get the series started, which means I need the Sword of Shannara, which I found in mass market paperback, but they were terrible condition. I've seen 2 of them so far. Terrible. No thank you. And to be honest, the quality of these, I mean, yes, the sleeve, of course, has a lot of ding damage, but it's a first printing. It's 80s, so we're talking 40-year-old books at this point, so you can't go wrong. In terms of pages, though, the pages are fine. They got that old tapered edge kind of feeling, which I really like. When pages are torn, they look torn. They feel torn. They feel like parchment, like aged, and I like it. Why am I'm too close to the camera and I'm getting cut off. Anyways, but other than that, the books, they have a little bit of staining, but they're not that bad. But both of them do, of course, have, they got some sleeve damage. But I mean, you can't go wrong, man. I mean, unless there's writing all over them that I hadn't noticed, but there isn't. It's pretty good. The pages aren't really, they're not rippled like from water damage. I have seen some books that have like water damage. Is unfortunate. Like I found Assassin's Creed Black Flag today, another Assassin's Creed novel. One of the thrift shop runs I did, I ended up finding 2 books from the Assassin's Creed. I think I've left one other one behind because it was really bad. The cover was in really bad damage. I forget which thrift shop that was, maybe the 3rd visit. And then today's was the Black Flag one. And it was, the book was in such perfect condition, except the first couple pages of the corner were just like they had the rippling. So it took water damage at some point, but it's unfortunate because the spine was perfect, the covers were perfect, but it had water damage. So the last 4. This is a series where it's like, maybe since the first time I've gone, because this comes up so often in BookTube, it's one of those where it's like, one day this entire series is going to be there and it's going to be the best gift ever. But I always failed until today. I had found 3 that I guess, I'm not even sure if these are mass market paperback, but they're smaller than the paperback, which is, y'all are going to know, Malice. John Gwynne. We got, this keeps coming up on BookTube all the time. We got the Faithful and the Fallen series, I suppose, right? And I was just like, one day I'm going to find these white books with weapons on it, and everyone talks about it, and they're highly acclaimed, and so I'm going to give them a shot at some point. Condition is relatively decent, and we have some fraying on the corners, but in terms of the spine is perfectly fine. A little bit of bowing, but it's good for a book this size. Can't go wrong. And pages are relatively straight except for the bowing on the corners here. And I should always check this before I buy them, but like, is there writing in the book? No. So there you go. And then I found these 3. First, but I was like, oh no, I found book 2, 3, and 4, but where the hell is book 1? And so I was like, do I just pick up book 2, 3, and 4, and then one day maybe I'll stumble upon book 1? And I had these in my cart for the first, I was there for an hour and a half. But listen, I came back with a haul, but then I found this one on my last pass. I was like, okay, it's just on a different shelf because it's a different size. Now, do I enjoy the fact that these books are different sizes and that's how they're going to have to sit on my shelf? No. No, not really. But I would like to have the opportunity to read them if I want to read them. And so we have, oh, that was my damage right there. But it's like, this already had a really badly frayed cover. Look, that's pretty bad, right? I mean, it's pretty bad. I would never have picked this up, but because all of them were there, I figured, but I just want them all now. I can always rebuy them if I find them in better quality, you know what I mean? But this one's got really bad corners. It's only the first couple pages of each, like, and of the back too. The spine itself is relatively okay. It's got a little bowing, but it's okay. Cover price on this, and the big meaty boy is $23.99 in Canada. I got it for $5.99. For these ones right here, $4.99 each of these, and their cover price is, these are the English edition from the UK edition. Is that why they're different sizes? They print them in different sizes in different countries. Like, why would they do that? Like, why would you do that? Well, I don't know what the price would be in Canada. I only have the UK price, so what is that, like double in Canada? I actually think it is. All right, well, these came from the UK, all the way from the UK, so I don't know what the Canadian price is. A lot more than $11, I'll tell you that much. It's probably closer to 20. We got the Ruin here, book 3. This one's got really, the spine is really bad. Like, this one took some heavy damage, and the back looks like a cat had like a fight with the back. It's just, I don't know if you, there you go. There's the light glaring off of all those scratch marks and stuff like that. I'm not sure if it was a cat. I'm just saying it's very, very dinged. The front is also very aged. It looks like a war-torn person's skin, I suppose. That's what you want to say? Yeah, well, that's what happened. Anyways, but the pages themselves, they're really good. It's just the cover is a goddamn disaster. UK price as well. And then we have, of course, book 4, Wrath. Did I say the name? You all are familiar with these. I don't have to tell you all about these books. And again, the really pretty ravaged spine here. Like, it's got a lot of like wrinkly creases and stuff like that. But the back cover looks pretty good. The front cover looks pretty good, except for a little corner fray right there. But it's really book 3 took the most damage. And then the pages on the inside, really good. See, perfectly straight. So, and also UK price. There you go. Malice, Valor, Ruin, Wrath. So another stack of books I can put on the reading pile. I'm not sure, like, these ones are chunky, but like, how big are these? 1,000 pages? Whew, no, but okay, it's not bad. I mean, 700 pages. It's like 2 standard novel sizes, I suppose. How long is the Shannara books? 500 pages. I've got a very long receipt here this time around. I ended up, you'll see the totals, of course, on this side of the screen. I ended up only buying books this time around, so it makes the math a lot easier, and I'm not going to mess up a lot of the printing. So I realized on the first couple hauls on this channel, I would have actually saved more because I was adding tax to my numbers, but I wasn't adding tax to the speculative total price of the cover price, you know what I mean? Because I would have paid taxes on top of paying the cover price, and I wasn't putting that into my old calculations. I will be doing that this time around. I ended up saving, of course, I got 5 books free because of the buy 4 get 1 free. I got the 20% off coupon included here. Is that actually included here? Because yes, it was. And then, of course, I'll do the calculation of the back of the cover totals here, and I'll do the conversion on the UK prices so that we get, bam, the actual total savings that I got this time around. I'm assuming it's going to be significant, and I'll find out after I'm editing this. So, you know, before I do. While doing the calculations, I noticed the error of my ways. I am one who likes to min-max my savings. I just tore up the coupon, but it's 20% off on a purchase of up to $50 when donating clothes, etc., etc., etc. And so the up to $50, because I was like, what do you mean I only got $10 off? I spent almost $100. Yeah, up to $50. So you're going to get $10 off max, which means I basically have to leave some books behind next time. I can only spend up to $50. If I were to min-max this situation, I will play this game properly next time. But you know what? I got a really nice haul. In any case, I'm going to send you back to the video. I'm just letting you know. I failed at the min-max. It's okay. Everyone gets one. No one's going to get that reference. So I went back to this thrift shop maybe 2 weeks ago, and I don't feel like I came back with anything. Maybe 5 books. But in any case, this time around, man, they did an overhaul of the entire section. As soon as I turned the corner of the fantasy, because they have like this massive fantasy section, which is actually 2 shelves wide. They got one whole horror shelf, and then tons of mystery and spot. I generally don't find anything in there because I don't know what to look for. And then they have like their fiction shelf, which is about 2 shelves wide. This is a massive, this one's really good. And as soon as I turned the corner, corner, I was like, there's a bunch of books here. Like, I knew right away. I saw the Pulp book, hardcover, and then I think I saw a Conan book, which is, I never found a Conan book, and it's always one of those series that I'm trying to buy that original set, and I had never found any. And this time and it's a small little book in the middle of this entire shelf, and I'm like, there's new books here. Because if there's a Conan book here, and there's going to be, there was Chainsaw Man Volume 1. I meant to go back for that. But then I was like, but if I buy Volume 1, I'm going to want to actually buy the collection of Chainsaw Man, but I got so many manga to read. So I'm like, I'm not going to do it. And it was in perfect condition. Crazy. But I left it behind. What else did I see that honorable mentions at this point? The Assassin's Creed Black Flag novelization. That's unfortunately that got left behind. I got a couple ghost story anthologies, which I was curious about, but I left them behind. They can go for another haul if I needed to like get the numbers, you know what I mean? I'll shimmy some more in. Of course, I always find Stephen King books, but I never know which ones to actually get. There was one that I can swear was a short story anthology, but they had taken the top cover off of it. I don't know what the terms for the floppy cover. It was just the book under the floppy cover. It was a black cover. What was it called? I remember, but I feel like I heard a booktuber talk about it, and it was a bunch of short stories, and I'm like, I totally would have gotten this if it had the original cover, you know? So what else was in honorable mentions? I found another Walking Dead, and then I ended up searching that on Google. I'm like, how many novels are there for Walking Dead? Because I ended up having 2 of them, and then I was like, which ones do I have? Because I found one that was a hardcover, but it was a Follow the Governor. I was like, and it said part 1. I was like, part 1? Because I remember mine having that. I think mine was the Rise of the Governor, and then I have the Road to Marbury. And so, anyways, it looks like there's 5 or 6 books in this series, but now I have all of them. They had the paperback edition, right? And so I was like, I don't want to get the hardback edition. Then I'm gonna have they're gonna be paperback and hardback and different sizes. So I'm like, but now I know there are more, so I gotta put those on a list, and I gotta keep my eye on them because they might keep popping up, or at least I need to go look in the horror section specifically for some more Walking Dead, so I can try to get that entire run, because that's what I do. What else? What else can I say? Any more honorable mentions? I feel like that's all I can say. Yeah, I think that's it. Next week I have to go to another eye surgery, and so there's another thrift shop right across the street from the eye surgeon. So I'm gonna do another quick run of there. That was a very small place, but I'm gonna do another quick run of that place. Maybe I'll come out of there with maybe 5 books or something like that. We'll see. Crossing fingers, I pull something out. Crossing fingers, I find, like, let's say the first book of this. That'd be great. But we'll see, and I'll come back with another thrift haul. I didn't think I'd actually be able to do all 25 of these at the same time, but here we are at almost the 45-minute mark. Hopefully I've cut this down to a reasonable size for all of you. Thank you for showing up and checking this out. I appreciate your time as always, and I'll catch you in the next stack of videos. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire, buddy. Peace. Why did I say it that way? I don't know. There's a lot of books to put away. Let's go.